Yes. So yes, good morning, everybody. It's fantastic to see everybody here for our very first, the picture right there, for our very first ERCA coffee morning. Um, these will be happening once a month, exactly the same time, the last Friday of every month. And Ben will probably tell you a bit more about that in a minute. Um, this particular one will alternate between an event which is basically for ERCA members, and it will be about our chance to share what we do, how we do it, to get to know each other better. And each time we will try to feature one of our organizations that will um, be hopefully of interest to everybody else. Pardon me, still getting over my flu. Um, the organization that we're featuring this morning is the Swedish one, Hela Sverigeska, or Rural Sweden, as they nowadays call themselves in English. um, this is an amazing organization. In my opinion, one of the most amazing rural movements that we've had in Europe. So it's really appropriate that we're starting with them. It's also appropriate that we're starting with them because they started the rural movements. So they really were the first, along with Finland, but they developed separately, interestingly. Um, I've been privileged to work with HSSL for 25 years now, very closely for periods of that time. And I know them pretty well. I've got a huge respect for what they have achieved. um, it was the first rural movement. It was formed after a campaign that took place in the 1970s and 80s when there were problems in the rural areas in Sweden, including in the north of Sweden, that lost a lot of population at that time. It was basically, it established a model of a civil society organization which gives a voice to rural people and also connects them, which is what we all now try to do in our own rural movements. It was built from the grassroots. And I think one of the things they've been most proud of is that they have, I don't know the current figure, but certainly at one point in time, they had 5,000 village associations as their main members. And indeed, in the process of setting up Hela, they were also encouraging the development of community associations in all the different communities in Sweden, which they successfully did as umbrella organizations within a local area or village or whatever it was in that particular area. They have also been a first in rural parliaments, and Sweden established the model for the rural parliament. Therese will tell us more about that and when it happened. But the Swedish rural parliament is a truly incredible event. They have over the years had something around 1,000 people who attend from all over Sweden. And it is an amazing event. I was privileged to go last year to their last rural parliament, which was as good as all the others. Very, 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 very interesting events. But this established a model which has spread right across Europe, including where I come from in Scotland. We have the Scottish Rural and Islands Parliament now. HSSL also, along with ERCA, established the European Rural Parliament. And we had the initiative in 2012, which established the first European Rural Parliament in 2013, held in Brussels. And I think we all know where that went to. We have now held 5, and Scotland will be hosting the 6th in October this year. But that came from the courage, actually, of the then manager of HSSL, Staffan Bond, who had always wanted to do it and then just said, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And it has worked. It's been incredible. So they are not only an amazing organization themselves, they have given a lot to Europe. And certainly, for much of their life, they were very European focused. And during the early stages after the fall of the Iron Curtain and the independence of the states in Central and Eastern Europe, they gave a huge amount of support to help those countries to organize their rural areas and their rural people, and particularly to the Baltic states, but to others as well. And so a lot of the rural movements that began in Central and Eastern Europe also had Sweden involved in helping them to set up. So a very public-spirited in a European sense organization that has left a very, very, very big and important legacy in Europe. Also in Scotland, they helped us to establish our Scottish Rural Action, which is our current rural movement. And actually, we got a lot of help from them during the whole process when we were trying to get that established. And for that, we're very, very grateful. So, and I mentioned Staffan Bond. Staffan was also the first president of ERCA, having helped to set it up. And Staffan, who was the manager for quite a long time, and then Therese has now been manager for quite a while too, was very instrumental in a lot of these things. So it's really a huge privilege to have Hellsverigeskarjeva as our first case study of European rural movements. And so I welcome that. Thank you, Therese.
Okay, thanks, Vanessa. I think you made expectations high enough, but I think that's all appropriate. And we are all happy to have HSSL here on the stage today. I think these ERCA cafes are also mentioned to learn each other a little better. And that's why I would like to do two things. The one is asking you to change your name. Some people are called iPhone, for instance. If possible, if it's not too complicated, please change your name in the Zoom, and then also when possible mention your organization and if possible your country. And then the second thing would be, could we have a short, fast introduction round? Everybody to name his name and his organization and country. Please keep it short, but that would be nice to have some overview of who is on board. Well, let me start by myself. Sorry for that. My name is Ben van Essen. I am the Vice President of ERCA, and I'm organized together with Louise and Wendy this webinar of this web cafe. Louise, you could be the next.
Hi everyone. My name is Louise Lennon, and I work with Irish Rural Link in Ireland, and I also support ERCA, the board of ERCA as well.
Okay, Vanessa.
Yeah, hello. I've been involved with ERCA since the beginning, and I'm the coordinator of ERCA. I'm also honorary president of Scottish Rural Action, our local Scottish organisation. Just wondering if everybody could turn their cameras on so we can see you, because it really helps to be able to see your face, even for a short time.
Okay, then we go to Hildur.
Yes, hi, I'm Hildur from Iceland. We are called Landsbyggðin Lifi, and we are also part of the Swedish Hellsverigeskarjeva.
Great.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome, Jenny Breslin.
Hello, I'm Jenny Breslin, and I'm a chair member of all Rural Sweden, the national board, and chairman of one of the regional, Gävleborgs regional Swedish.
Good.
We are here, and we have recently had 2 international projects, so we are very interested in the European situation from our region. Thank you.
Great. Stefania.
Yeah, I'm Stefania Gitradóttir, and I'm with the Landsbyggðin Lifi in Iceland.
Yeah, welcome also, Alexander. Alexander Zuniga.
Yo, hey, my name is Alexander Zuniga, and I'm from Hellsverigeskarjeva, Värmland, in Sweden.
Okay, Luis Moreno from Portugal, welcome. Can you also introduce yourself?
Well, I'm a member of the Portuguese Association for Local Development, ANIMAR, and well, I'm a university teacher too, and I was a former member of the board of ANIMAR, but now I'm just representing as a common associate, a common volunteer.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. Anna Erikos.
Yes, hello. Sorry.
Yes, you are here. We can hear you.
There are two Annas up at the moment.
Yes, from rural Sweden, head of administration and economics, also for ERCA.
Yeah, okay. Barbara from Germany.
Yes, I extra edited because you asked about it, Ben,
Great.
but it is not correct. I'm here from a new attempt to combine the Netherlands, Belgium. I must say Flandern. I learned that it's important, and the part of Germany called Nordrhein-Westfalen into the rural interests. Yeah,
okay.
And original I'm coming from project with Regionalentwicklung.
Okay, thank you. I go to Deborah Clark from England.
Hi, I'm Deborah Clark. I work for ERCA, Action with Communities in Rural England. ERCA has one of ERCA's board members is on the also on the ERCA board, and I've been involved for quite a few years now, and I've attended 3 of the European Rural Parliaments. So ERCA's very committed to the organisation.
Great, thank you. Brian Cameron.
Hi folks, Brian Cameron, Scottish Rural Action, Vice Chair up there in sunny Scotland at the moment.
Great. Let me see, because all the names are Ralf Tangelder from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Ralf Tangelder from the Netherlands, from one of the provinces actually, Limburg. We are with a small association for small towns and communities in our province. So it's one of the 12 Dutch provinces also present.
Thank you. Keski Suomen. And what's later in, I can't read so good. Oh, sorry.
Reena Laukkanen-Avi, Central Finland Village Association, and a member of ERCA and ERB. And I really do not know how to change my name here in the middle.
Okay, no, don't bother.
Sorry
But
about
now
that.
we know you.
Yeah.
Sjoerd.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Sjoerd Tel. I am a board member of Scottish Rural Action, and of course, delighted to be able to host this year also the European Rural Parliament.
Yeah, great. Sophia Malm.
Yeah, Sophia Malm. I'm part of the regional board of one member of All Sweden Shall Live.
Okay. And now a very special guest, Staffan Nilsson, our former president. Where are you, Staffan? Oh, there he is. You're still muted. Still muted.
You don't hear me?
Yeah, now yes.
Yes, but I'm former in all sense. I only follow. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Suvi Luhalainen. Sorry.
Hello, greetings from Finland. I'm Suvi Louhelainen. I'm working for Finnish Village Movement Association. And
great.
I started 4 months ago, so I'm happy to be with you. First time ever.
Great, welcome. Then we go to Tobias.
Hello, everybody from Germany. I'm a board member of the Village Movement Brandenburg, the federal state of.
Your sound is not so good yet because so the technical problems. But of course, okay, we went on. William from Flanders.
Hello there. My name is William Inert. I'm president of the Flemish Association of Village Interest, and as already stated, well, I'm a ERCA member, and also recently we established a collaboration with Holland, with the Netherlands, and with Nordrhein-Westfalen. I'm also a member of ERCA.
Okay, thank you. I will come to Therese, but at first I think, because I can give her the floor, who did I forget? Because the names are switching a little bit. Is there someone which has not yet introduced himself?
Jan Runfors. Region of Stockholm, all Sweden should live. The region.
Great, welcome.
And here is one who take over after Staffan, and he is the boss I'm learned to live with, and he learned me so much as a chair for the whole Sweden shall live. And Irene Oskarsson, the new chair, new I will say because Staffan is here, so he will also hear that we are continue the good work that Staffan started.
Okay.
Is so involved in also even now.
Great.
So it's not
thank you.
It's not before for him, it's now.
Okay, thank you, Irene. So then we know a bit who is on board. Welcome, everyone. And we can go to our most important speaker. That will be Therese Benkart. As Vanessa already mentioned, I don't have to repeat that, but we are very happy to have this excellent association HSSL on board. Teresa is operation manager, has a long history already with HSSL, and she also wrote, and I'm very I hope she will translate it some moment in English, the center of the world to the defense of rural area. So that would be a good if you could read this book also. But Therese, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will briefly take you to the center of the world, which in my opinion is the county of Jämtland, the Hammarstrand. Thank you very much for a great presentation. In Sweden, we are very modest, and we sort of blush when we get these great words about our organization, but we are also, of course, very glad to be here and to be able to present what our organization is and how we work, and of course which issues we are working with. That's sort of the agenda for the day. So thank you very, very much, Vanessa and Ben. I will share a presentation and we will take the question afterwards, after the presentation.
People can also put questions in the chat, yes. And we will, Louise will look into that.
That will be very good. Yeah, thank you very much. I will very soon be talking about our name, but I sort of want to present you to the middle of the world, or what it is. This is where I live in Hammarstrand. We have snow right now. It's beautiful. The sun is shining, and I live in what I think a very, very beautiful place. In some parts, they say we are sort of not even having any people at all because we are so few that they sort of can't count us. But I can assure you that we have people living here, and we are developing this local area. And that is what rural Sweden is all about, having the opportunity to be able to live in every part of Sweden. I will see if I can translate the book. I will get back to you. Yeah, it's sort of hard, you know, when it comes to languages and trying to translate. But rural Sweden is the name that we use now to sort of explain what we are all about. HSSL is the acronym that is very popular in European context, but it doesn't say that much, so we call us rural Sweden. If you translate what we are in Sweden, hela Sverige ska leva, it's all of Sweden shall live, you know. You should be able to live in all of Sweden. For a few years, we find that the name was too long, so we sort of shorten it to all of Sweden in Swedish and hela Sverige in Swedish. And that in Swedish has two meanings. Of course, a shortening of our name, but also it means heal Sweden, to make Sweden whole again. And I think in this time of our history, we see polarization between groups and opinions and places, and we don't want that. We want to have Sweden a country that works together and see that every part of Sweden is important to develop. So now you have a very long explanation of what our name is. We have a few things that we are working with. We want to have good conditions throughout the entire country to live, to work, and to visit. And of course, a prosperous rural development in the whole country. And this balance that we talk about between the cities and the countrysides. When it comes to how the funding is and how the opportunities is to live, not only in the cities, but also in the countrysides. So that is our purpose. Vanessa mentioned this. We have 5 local village groups, and these are then organized in 24 region groups or networks, and some of them are participating here today. It's very nice to see. And also we have a 35 member organization on the national level, which could be organization that is sharing our purpose and wants to develop the opportunity to live in all of Sweden. We are, of course, a non-profit organization, and the most important members are the community groups. They can be everything, I would say, as a local heritage association. Even sports clubs are that are dedicated to local development are members in our organization. So what is a local village group? We think that everyone that works with and for the best of the community that they are living in are a local village group. They also have a common interest to represent the community and want to work with developing the local society. We want to have democratic selected organizations so that everyone can be a part of that. They operate in a district defined by the inhabitants themselves. We are not like you can be between municipalities and so on if you want to. They usually arrange activities, and sometimes they also take care of business and so on. They can have the local store and school and building buildings or doing something for the community. And they want to be a part of all of Sweden shall live, or hela Sverige, or rural Sweden. Yes. I won't say that again, but our aim, I already been saying to you. We have 2 bones. We have 2 things that we are doing, and Vanessa was saying this in a very good way. We want to strengthen the local, and we want to influence the national level. When it comes to strengthen the locals, we do it in collaboration, of course, knowledge and support. We have local projects, we have handbooks, we have networks, we have insurance that everyone who is a member of us also have an insurance. We do conferences and courses, webinars, and so on to spread this sort of knowledge between us. And as you already mentioned, we have this rural parliament every second year, and I will talk a bit more about the rural parliament. When it comes to influence the national level, it's very important for us to have a dialogue for rural Sweden with the leaders of the national level, but also, of course, with regional and local levels. And I have another picture of that too. We do policy recommendations. We are participating in committees and of course, dialogue meetings, editorials. We sometimes write letters, and we do also, of course, conference and courses that we try to learn about how our conditions are in the rural areas and how that could be better. And of course, they are also invited to the rural parliament. So we try to get the voice and, of course, the good example and the knowledge from the local level to being able to have the dialogue with the national level, and sort of try to be that both positive, but also sometimes saying that this is not working, how can we do this better, and try to recommend to do things in a better way. So this is very important for us. We are not only a lobby organization, and we are not only a organization that works for the local, but both parts. And this is how Sweden is. It's a big country when it comes to the area, but we are maybe not the biggest country when it comes to inhabitants. We are approximately 10 million today, and we are then we have 290 municipalities, but in every municipality we have this local group. So rural Sweden has approximately 5,000 local groups. We could be a lot more, but it's always hard, to do the organization and to make people be a part of us. But we are always working on being more in this area. The local village groups, and also what we have county networks like that works on the municipality level, they are affecting and sort of having the dialogue with the municipalities, and also try to be a part of the local media and try to get the word out in local media. We have also 24 region groups. Some of us are here, Stockholm, Värmland, and Gävleborg. Exing are participating on this meeting. They are 24 in all of Sweden, and they are working towards the 21 region we have in Sweden. And a national organization, we have a board of 13 that Irene is one of the chairmen or chairpersons, I think it's called now, yeah. And we also have a secretary. I see. We are 10 people today that works on the secretary. And the government and the parliament is what we are working towards mainly. And of course, the national media. So this is how we are organized. It's very hard, I got the question when I started working for rural Sweden, which is the most important issue. What should we, say 3 things that you should do to make the all of Sweden could be able to live and development. And we said that it's not possible to say that it's one question or one issue. It's a lot of issues that has to work to be able to live in a society. So we made a model of this. I will not, we don't have a lot of time, so I will take it briefly today. And if you are interested, we could talk more about that some other times. But we have taken Maslow ladders of needs and sort of translated into what a society needs. And when it comes to the first, it's infrastructure. You have to have roads and energy, and we call it digital infrastructure, housing, of course, financing, and so on. And that is things you have to have very close to you. If you don't, the road is not working, or you don't have electricity, it's very hard to be able to live in a place. The second one is safety and service. You have to have like services like be able to have gas to your car, or you have to be able to handle groceries and so on. And of course also education. And for us, the police, you should be able to call in Sweden. It's 112. I think you have other numbers in your places, but you know, and that the police and the fire squad and so on can be able to come, and of course employment and post and healthcare and so on. And that is also very important, but you don't have to have it in your house. You can have in maybe a bit further. And in the north of Sweden, we have sometimes 1,000 kilometers for something, and it's very different how this is organized, but it's something it's very important for people to have. The next one is belonging, meeting places, culture and leisure activities, of course, adult occasion and education and so on. You know, this feeling of a place is very important to have meeting places and so on. And so it's something that a lot of our local group is putting a lot of efforts to do this kind of activities and so on. Then we come to a more level that it's not, you know, hands-on, but more a state of mind. To have that feeling that you can have influence, to have power over your local community, to have a local impact, but also have to a recognition that, you know, I'm important, that this local community is important. And of course that we talk about this balance between countryside and cities, that we also have opportunities to have resources and funding and so on for the activities we want to do. And then you can do a lot of innovation and growth and creativity and entrepreneurship, but it's organized in different ways throughout Europe, of course, and also in Sweden. We see local differences between this. So when we talk about our issues, everything of this is important, and everything should be able to work in all of the communities. I think this is poetry. This is the long-term vision for the European rural areas. And I think this is something that we should all have in our hearts and sort of reference, so that we could all be a part of what EU wants, but also be influence our politicians and policymakers to see how important the rural areas are. I will read it to you. Our rural areas are the fabric of our society and the heartbeat of our economy. The diversity of landscape, culture, and heritage is one of Europe's most defining and remarkable features. They are the core part of our identity and economic potential. We will cherish and persevere our rural areas, invest in their future. So have that with you. What we did was that this is a very very much information in one picture, but we will send the presentation to you so you can see if you want to sort of get into it. But what it is that we did in Sweden, you see all of Sweden shall live, or rural Sweden, in the bottom of the chart, that we can see that what we do, what the issues we are working with are committed to the long-term vision for EU. Everything is connected, and we want to be a part of this. And the Swedish government has also made a political guideline that they want to have a viable countryside with equal opportunities for entrepreneurship, work, housing, and welfare that leads to a long-term sustainable development throughout the country. So we could see that what we are doing is also on a national level, but also on an EU level, participating in to make this vision being affected. And we say that if we don't do the development, if it's not happening in the local areas, it's not going to be happening on the more of national level either. The development is providing in the local areas. That's where the work is done for real. Rural Sweden is also, of course, a communication platform. We do reports, we do, of course, a newsletter, we have a podcast, we have a lot of debate and articles in different kind of medias. So we try all the time to be both knowledge, but also, of course, trying to affect the politicians to be able to make better decisions in the long term. Yes, someone said that this is the best the best part of us. We have the rural parliament in Sweden called Landsbygdsriksdagen. You have maybe to practice that word, but I will call it the rural parliament. And we do it every second year. The last time we were in Sörmland in the south of Sweden. Now we're going to the north of Sweden called Västerbotten. Some of you maybe have heard Northvolt and Skellefteå, and we were going to be there. Talking a lot about how to build a society that is sustainable in the new areas, both when it comes to social issues, but also, of course, economic and environmental issues. We are going to do this in May of next year. And of course, everyone who is able to come to Sweden and celebrate this with us should do that if you can. This is sort of rural Sweden, but in an event type of activity. We have the local groups coming. We have travels in the area that shows good examples for developing on the local areas. We also have seminars, of course. We have the national politicians coming and talking about what they want to do to develop the rural areas. We have a great, can I say this, party? Yes, we have a party where we are sort of celebrating people that have done very good things and examples that we want to highlight. And of course, we have a very good food in Sörmland. We had over 70,000 portions of food, and everything was local produced. It was fantastic job they've done in this local area, and we will see if Västerbotten could do this. We hope that we have a lot of local food there also, but we will have at least great food. And maybe if I get chance to have some influence over the program, we might have some dancing also. We'll see. And I have to say that in Sweden we have the Melody Festival, the Eurovision sort of now, and topping that is the Finland Kai. They are so very good. Maybe Kai could come to the rural parliament. Anyway, this is a very, very important place to be able to see each other, talk about this and get inspiration, but also, of course, try to influence politicians and so on, that these rural areas are very important. I think that was it. And I think I also managed to keep the time, which is very good. I can talk, you know, for hours, but I think this is sort of what we are doing now in rural Sweden.
Great, thanks very much, Therese. Very impressive. I already took some pictures because you gave me some inspiration to do things with what you invented. For instance, this ladder, the society ladder of needs. Great. But I give the floor to other people. Are there questions? And I will try to look if someone raises his hand, and Louise will help. Vanessa.
Hi, just to start things off. I've always been fascinated by these 5,000 village associations. Can you tell us a bit more about those, Therese? How they were established, what kind of structures they are, and also, you know, how much you feel they participate in Helle-Sverigers work?
Yes, I would start by saying that we have a long history of organizations that has sort of been this grassroots, that have been organized on a local level. Usually if it's sort of an issue that they want to, or to do things that are good for the local community. And this is, you know, it's hundreds of years we have had this. It could be a local heritage group, it could be some sporting event, it could be something that sort of, you know, glue this local community together. And they've been a very good and strong voice in developing Sweden throughout these years. But also been, you know, we're not really getting this confirmation from the national level. So the organization was, as you said, a very big mobilization in the 80s. And I would say we have local communities that are approximately 100,000 so we only have 5,000. We could be much more. These members are being members of the regional level, and we have, you know, traditional meetings that they are selected to the boards and so on. And we also, of course, on the regional level has communication with these local groups, and also that they could be having issues and so on that they are transporting throughout the organization when it comes to the regional level and to the local level. It's a variation. It's because we don't want to sort of control them and rule and say you have to be like this. We want them to have their own initiatives and their own things that they are engaged in, and we sort of try to canalize that to the national level.
Thanks. Sjoerd.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks very much, Therese, for sharing that. It's very inspirational. I wonder if you could give just very briefly just a bit more insight in kind of like the landscape that your organization occupies in relation to other kind of grassroots support networks that exist in Sweden. Kind of like, and do you overlap, or do you feel you are very much in your own niche and in your own space, or do you share that space also with other organizations?
Yeah.
And how do you relate to them?
There are a lot of organizations that are members in rural Sweden, but also I would say that we are sort of, in Sweden we call it umbrella. You say that? For these organizations, because we, as I said, we have all the issues. We want to see the society development in all these issues. The other organization are usually, we want to work with agriculture, or we want to work with power stations, or it's sort of more limited issues that they have. So we say it's very important that we have this, very, very many organizations that wants to develop or have an issues, and we can be the umbrella. So I would say that I don't find it hard, because we can say that if you are interested in this issue, you should talk to this organization, because they are, specialists, and they have more knowledge about this particular issue or thing. So I would say, and Sweden is a small country, not to how big we are when it comes to geographics, but people see each other here. We can meet in the same room, and we have a lot of, I say this rural bubble I'm in, oh, it's you, hey. so we know each other, and that's of course an strength, I would say. So
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. William.
Thanks also for the very clear and inspiring presentation. I've got a question. How are the associations funded? What mean, where does the money come from, on the local, on the regional, and on your level? Are you granted by the authorities? Is that diverse? Could you tell something about that?
Yes, that is also an hour, but I would say it's very different. We, on the national level, we have money from the government, and that funded us to be this umbrella and to have this contact with the local areas. We also fund the regional level with this money, so that it's but on the local level it's very, very different. It could be that the municipality have support, that you have also some funding from the state. We have regional money, we have leader, we have local project money, and so on. So it's very, very different. And I would say making and selling coffee is a very important thing. You have to have these activities and to be able to fund the local level, and that's a lot of non-funded work that is being doing on the local level, and they try to sort of manage to get the funding to the activities they want to do. So it's a very big economy, but it's not very you don't see it. It's sort of going under the radar.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa.
Sorry, I don't want to talk too much, but well, two things now. Actually, you've just raised one more point there. How much do you get annually from your government to support your activities? I know what it used to be. I don't know what it is now. And then my second question was also at the other end of the spectrum. I'm always getting asked, how much do you think or know that you have succeeded in influencing national policies for rural areas?
Yeah. I have you probably can have some translating thing, but we got a new funding from this year, from 2025, and that is 17.5 million Swedish krona. So I don't know what that is in your local currency, but it's we think it's a lot of money, of course, but we could also have a lot of more to be able to do more, of course. But it's a good foundation to have, and that's why we are able to give money to the regional level, to have this secretary that I run, and I have 10 people not working full time, but there are 10 people working in the secretary, and of course the board and so on, and also some money for projects and so on, communication. That was the funding. How much we are influencing the politicians it's very hard to measure. We try to which part have we been participating in, and how many things are other influencers participating in. But what I think right now is that we've been working so long for this, and we are sort of a recommended and a very high valued organization, I would say. So we are invited to these reference groups. We are invited to when they are doing different kind of policy making, and I really hope that we sort of have that voice in this very, very important dialogues. And it's very interesting, I'm in a board that work with broadband and communications throughout the Swedish, and we have both the national level when it comes to the minister and also people that are working with this, CEOs and so on. And when I sit around the table, they sort of, rural Sweden is here. We can't say it. we can't just talk about Stockholm. We have to sort of being able to be on this around this table is sort of, don't forget us. We are not through yet. We haven't built broadband in all of Sweden. We could do better, and I think that is very important to sort of remind people of that. Sweden is more than Stockholm. So yeah, that's our role, I would say.
Okay, thanks. Are there any other questions? Yes, Brian, please come in.
Hi, very quickly. I mean, great to share that experience. I would just like to ask a generic question. It sort of follows on from what you just mentioned, which is, you talk about the motivation for rural movement, the appetite, Maslow's pyramid of it. Do you find that it's been a linear journey, or are there fluctuations in that need, that appetite? And if there are fluctuations, what sort of things are causing the fluctuations?
When it comes to the local level, I would say that yes, there are very much fluctuation, and that's which people are living there. What do they want to do right now? Do I have the energy? We can see that the energy is going down, and then several years they are the best one in developing something. So that is very variation. What I think it's good about rural Sweden is that we are constant. We are we can be providing this influence mostly to the national level throughout the years, because we are constant, and we sort of can manage to take the issues now. Of course, the issues of how we're going to protect our country and so on is very, how in crisis are we going to make it able to people to live in Sweden. That was not an issue at all 10 years ago when I started. Now it's one of the biggest, and we can be like, okay, now is this issue is very important. How can we have sort of a rural perspective on these issues? So I would say that it's very, very important to have this organization throughout times that could be this sort of foundation for the different type of issues and different type of organizations, so it doesn't die with a few people, and then you have to build it up again. Yeah.
Brilliant answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks. Deborah.
Yes, thank you. It was a really interesting presentation, and I can see the parallels between the way that ERCA works and the way that yourselves work. I'm just quite interested, sorry, to take you back to Vanessa's original question, because I just wondered, are you the only umbrella organisation that supports rural, or are there other ones? Because I think as we're a national organisation across England, but there are also other umbrella organisations who support rural. So it's not direct competition, but they're doing the same thing. So I just wondered if that was the same for you, or if you were the only representative as an umbrella body for rural issues. Does that make sense? Sorry.
Yeah, it makes sense, and it's. I would say yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but of course we have organizations that are bigger and have more members, but they are sort of, in my opinion, they are smaller when it comes to the issues. The rural Sweden has all of the issues, and there are no other organization that is doing that. But we are not the biggest when it comes to members or financing and so on. And in Sweden, we always, it's like, cooperation is very important. We don't want to have conflicts and so on. So we sort of say, here we don't, we are the biggest and the best. We don't do that. We sort of, everyone should do this together, and we can be a platform for that. So that is how we present ourselves, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vanessa?
How do you relate to LEADER and the Swedish LEADER network? And how do you see the difference between them and rural Sweden?
Yeah. LEADER is a very, very important method and financial participating in rural development. We have continually meetings with them. We have a good communication with the national organization that is handling all the LEADER areas. So I would say that we don't have the competition when it comes to that. We are working together, and we think that LEADER is very, very important to be this, we can fund the good ideas that our local group has. So we say that is perfect. We don't have the funding to do that. Even though we have an amount of money, we can fund every good idea that comes along. So leader is very, very important. And we also, of course, want to make it still being that local level. We are sometimes feeling that being too much administration and bureaucracy, I think it's called, yeah, and that's not a good trend. But we want to have more money in leader and still have a good development with them, and we don't have any competitions. We are complementing each other very well, I would say.
Okay, Therese, could you try to mention a little bit, to look a little bit forward? What would be for the next 2-3 years your biggest concerns or challenges or issues that you have to go in? Is you have a vision on that? How do you look in the future?
Yeah, I would say it's both, sort of a dark one and a bright one. The dark one is that we can see this polarization, and we can see, people do not understand really each other's, I don't know, points of views and so on. And we also see that we made a report that asked rural people in Sweden how they see that the national politicians take consideration the rural issues, and 7% said that the national level can see that the rural areas are important, and that is not good. But on the other hand, we see that if we are going to build a society that is sustainable, we have to have the rural areas. It's impossible doing it otherwise, and that the local communities are getting sometimes stronger. That if they get the right funding and resources and sort of support, they will be able to do this. We are together being able to make this sustainable societies on a local level. So we see that the future is very much on the rural areas and the development. So you understand? I
think it's an important issue. Perhaps I can challenge Tobias from Germany to also say a little bit of that. I was for a few weeks. I was in Germany, in Berlin, and this issue of how can we cope with polarization and what is our role in this? What can we do to prevent that our society falls apart? Yeah. And I think it is interesting also to have, that we should ask ourselves, what can we do to keep the communities together? Tobias, you're challenged.
I'm challenged. You can hear me?
Yeah. What I find interesting, I talked with your colleague Grit, and they are actually now thinking about how you, as a village movement, have to go in discussion with these people that are more on the polarization side.
Yeah, first of all, especially here in Germany, we have the case that many people don't talk to each other simply because they seem to be on the wrong side of the political spectrum. And what we try to do is to bring these people together and to arrange different formats of communication from the local level to the level of the federal state. So, and we bring politicians even from the perhaps wrong side of the political spectrum and the people from the villages together. So to bring them into communication. Communication is the key from our perspective.
Yeah. I think it's an important issue. Thanks, Tobias. Yes, Jenny, please come in.
I'm sorry, but I was triggered by the theme about this segregation thing. Thank you, Therese, for making a good picture about the variety of everything we have here in Sweden. But I think the issue is that the world needs to be more rural, and the language and everything we talk about is so much focused on the cities. We don't have shootings and that kind of criminal activities. We have snowmobile festivals and people getting together, like making a pot of coffee and fixing the roads together. We don't have segregation in that kind of measurement. In our villages, it's, oh, you're from anywhere, but you're a new family. You can make our school survive by bringing more kids. Please welcome. If you like us, we like you. We don't, that's like, foreigners are the other kind of problem that they have over there. If you're coming to us and be a part of our community, that is not a problem. And when you talk about all this time, what happens in the big cities, in the big areas, somewhere over there, people start to think that this is also happening here. People say that we lose this, that we are far from each other, that we don't have this togetherness, this power. We do. But we seem to think that the non-rural areas is the only role model, and their problems are our problems. So we don't make ourselves heard, and people are trying to, the Sweden they know is lost. But I say it's still out there. It's still in here.
Yeah.
But we allow it to be the role model, and that's why people get really lost. We need to show that there are other ways of communicating and living together. But you don't need to do it like that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jenny. That was previously I talked a little bit with Therese and her book about the powers or the positive things of the rural areas. We should bring these things more forward. I think we need a new narrative, and in this way, the rural areas have to. They have a lot to offer. How the future society could be when we look at these things. Therese, you have to add something to that, or?
No, I think it was very good spoken. Yeah.
Vanessa?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that discussion something that really hit me very strongly at the time. One of the first Estonian rural parliaments, the then president of Estonia was there. He always is there. And he was somebody who was very instrumental in the Velvet Revolution, or the Singing Revolution, in terms of Estonia's independence. And he made a comment that Estonia for 800 years had only been independent between the First and the Second World Wars until they were independent in the late 1990s, whenever it was. Which is absolutely incredible. I mean, it's very hard to imagine, not having your own independence. And what he said was that it was entirely because of the rural areas that they could maintain their sense of identity of being Estonian, the culture, the history, and everything. And it was in the rural areas where that was preserved. The cities change all the time. People are coming and going, cultures are coming and going, politicians are coming and going. But the rural areas are the real roots of any country's sense of identity. And I thought that was just a fantastic comment, and one that really impacted on me.
Yeah. But we should take these kind of comments, these kinds of stories. We should bring it more to the stage. I think that's I think also what Jenny meant. William, you have something to add?
Well, I just wanted to add and to second on what Jenny said. It's a very interesting thought, and really, it's the first time that I hear this, but I find it very renewing and very well, very valuable. That was the word I was looking for. Very valuable that indeed rural areas, if you bottom it up, rural areas can be the solution to national problems in this way.
Yeah, right.
And you see, well, what you established there, that's right. Well, it's not going that easy, that integration, but the thing is, people also, well, living in a bit of a rural area, we see people from other cultures coming over, but we don't have that violence. We don't have, well, we struggle with integration and getting them into our community, but there is no violence. There is no problem, no real problem. The only problem is to be able to reach them. That's what with as the case, to get them to community activities, for example, and that's what we have to think about. But the problems which occur in cities, and you probably will have heard of the shootings in Brussels, which have been daily over the last months. Well, you don't have that in rural areas, and that's a very interesting thoughts which I will certainly take along to coming meetings. Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, William. Perhaps we should share the things that can bring to the stage a new positive narrative about what the rural areas have to bring up to solve the bigger national problems. Perhaps that would be also for me a link to another element, and Jenny mentioned earlier that she is interested also in this connection to Europe. This could be some issue on the European agenda also, and another thing but would be interesting, Therese, as you mentioned how Sweden is built up, then you have also a lot of remote areas, so to say. And what we see on the European agenda is that these remote areas are a very important issue on the agenda. What could be your role in this? Because I think Sweden has showed some solutions for how to go on with these remote areas. So my question would also be is how is your connection to the European agenda? What is your role on the European stage? And I think you have to bring a lot on that stage.
Yes. With in some perspective, I think all of Sweden is a remote area. Yeah. I mean, we and of course Finland and Norway too, and I mean, in my area we are in the municipality like 5,000 people, and it's 200 kilometers. So it's, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of space, and what people think that is remote also, that because it's far away from Central Europe, if you can call it that. So what I think sometimes, as Jenny and William also, we have already solved things,
right,
issues. We still have issues, but we also have I think some ideas of how we can organize or fund these societies to be able to have the challenges, to be more sustainable, but in the way that are smart to do it when there are not as many people in a demographic area. So of course, the Swedish perspective is usually a bit different from other countries that are more populated, I would say. But also, it's so great to live here. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah. But of course, the European level is very important for us, because when the policy making is done in the European way and is sort of in the majority of how other countries are organized or think. It's sometimes when it's land on the local level or the municipality level in Sweden, it's like, this is not possible. This is crazy, you know, we can't do this. So we of course have to have that. Sometimes like we have to have we have to do it another way. So yeah, I would say to have a rural perspective or a local perspective on every policy making is something that we want to have, of course.
Yeah, and do you also join forces like in Sweden to have influence in Brussels, or do you cooperate with other organizations in your advocacy agenda to Brussels already?
Yeah, and there are sort of offices that have European focus that they are working. I would say more of region and business that they have this, and I think the rural communities could be better on trying to be a stronger voice.
Yeah, perhaps we as ERCA should also have a little bit
of course,
this thing. Yeah, okay.
I mean, this sort of network is very, very important for us.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Jan, you raised your hand.
Yes. In the National Network for Rural Development, we have worked a lot with how to get people interested in working and being educated to be able to work in the rural areas.
Yeah.
We have also worked a lot with house building issues in the rural areas because it's important, as many of you have said. The rural areas are the future for sustainability we think. And I think it's going the right way, slowly, but it's going the right way. We have worked with immigrants, for instance, who has never been outside their suburbs, to meet people in the rural areas, to meet schools that educate in farming and other things. That is, you need a lot of people working in this green works, if you understand me.
Yeah.
But we work with lots of, I would like to say that sustainability is the main issue in very many of our regional areas right now.
Yeah. But I also take in account what you said in the beginning is also on this point, you in Sweden have found solutions how, for instance, to promote that people go to the countrysides and take work there, and that isn't these kind of solutions. It's very important that we share this on the European level, because on other places they have the same problems, and sharing these good practices like you have in Sweden, I think that would be an important thing. Let me go to Jenny, please.
Very important.
Yeah.
Yes,
thanks.
I have this. If you want to change something, we have been down to Europe and everything and talking about things, but that is a slow movement. I think we need to do that. But to get to, the world is changing. A lot of things is happening. How can we get our message out there? And that is about what kind of questions can we make people, ordinary public, and also decision makers to. What kind of questions do they have on their agenda? Earlier it was, where do we live with quality? That could be rural. Where do we go on vacation? That could be rural. Maybe we need something on the rural side when we're on vacation. Then it goes further on to, where do we fix the climate changes? A lot of it is in the rural areas. Maybe we need to look at the rural areas. Then there's where do we go to get supplies? Food and timber and everything. That seems to be the rural areas. We can't abandon the rural areas. We need to have the rural areas on our agenda. But now we have where do we go as refugees in wartime? Then things will start to happen. I assure you that almost every Swede now have a escape plan. They know which grandmother or cousin or cabin or where do I go when shit hits the fan, like that. And I think that your people either have in your country or in another country. Where do we go and what do I have? Do I have water supplies in where I need to go? And those who don't have any place to go will dream about having some place to go. And this is, my friends, where the money is right now in Sweden. We have trouble with bridges and roads. Then suddenly NATO comes and said, we need to get to Norway by this road. Suddenly there's money. We have problem with hospitals. And then they say, we can't have only big hospitals at the shoreline of Östersjön. We need to have more. If you get people to get those kind of questions, they see their own another value in these remote areas. And nothing is so hard as you put, I'm sorry, but if you put Putin after every word, people will start think in another way, maybe if. And then they realize what we already know. We need the countryside to deal with emergencies and big things. As we say in cities can change and they have another situation. So I'm just leaving that there. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Well, thanks very much for this warm words about the rural, the strengths of the rural areas. And I think we really should start in putting this more on the table as our story that we believe in these strengths. Vanessa, I would like to conclude a little bit, but do you have? You can also take the last words. If you want.
Sorry. It was just a comment on what Jenny was saying there. And one thing that is becoming very obvious across Europe is that proximity to Russia is influencing hugely where the priorities seem to lie. And I see this in the Baltic states. I don't think they're present today, sadly. In Poland, that all along the border regions, the preparations for some kind of conflict with Russia are very, very well advanced. And in the rural areas, Estonia, for instance, in Kodikand, they're working closely with the army about how rural areas will become the front line if the Russians come over the border. It's terrifying, and it's interesting to see the different feelings you get as you go from east to west across Europe. I don't think in Britain we've felt that vulnerable for a very long time. I don't know about France and Germany, etc. But if you go into anywhere in the far north, Finland, Sweden, and also right the way down the eastern border, the rural areas are absolutely in the firing line. They are absolutely preparing for some possible conflict. And you're right, Jenny, that money will go that way, because that's where everybody in Europe is really focused and worried about at the moment. But it's different across Europe. It's a very interesting issue.
Okay, thank you. Just to say some last words, and then I will give the floor to Vanessa. And also for me to be also in a positive way to end this session, because these are great concerns that we are now talking about. But I'd like very much, I think, that we share today how the rural areas have a lot of positive things, and that we should bring it further to the stage on the European level. And that is right also what I like very much, and I hope you share this opinion with me, that we can that these ERCA cafes, like we now have had the first one, I hope we can continue in this and see you all back in the next events we will organize. Let me name a few dates. Please put them in your agenda already. On March 28th, we will, together with the Irish Rural Link, we will be in action about a broader theme, like all this volunteering work in the rural areas. How important is it? What do we see for developments in that? So please note in your agenda March 28 again on 11 o'clock Central European time, and then on April 25 the Flanders movement village association with William will be our host. So there will be a lot of interesting things. And so we work on, we will place, we will keep you informed about this. We will place these ERCA cafes and web events on the agenda and all the on our website. And please pass the word on, because it is great when the community in which we discuss these things is growing. And I like it very much how we can learn each other a little bit better, to know each other a little bit better. And what I also have proved again today is we are from the same group. We are together, the people that have to stand up also for the rural regions, and that's what we did already today. Thanks very much to Therese, and now I give the floor to Vanessa. Just one last things. There will be, as you know, we have recorded this, and there will also be a short report on this. We will share it, of course, with you in a few weeks, I think. Vanessa.
Thank you. I don't think there's very much more to say, really, but I would like to just reflect what Ben has been saying, that ERCA is, as all our organizations are, it's about the vertical, but it's also about the horizontal communication. It seems to me sometimes that ERCA has been very focused on the vertical, influencing Brussels or organizing ERPs, or where you're getting the kind of messages going through from the local through to the national or European. But equally, if not more important, it's about what we're doing today. It's about the horizontal communication, because in our different ways, we're all trying to do the same things right across Europe. It's utterly fascinating. The more you find out about how it is in all these different countries that we represent, the more interesting the whole thing becomes. And I've found that out over the years, that yes, we are all facing similar challenges, but we operate within slightly different frameworks. We have slightly different government structures. We have slightly different systems for funding and taxation, and you name it. That's where you begin to learn the lessons. What they can do in Sweden, wow, we can't do that here in Britain because we've got these barriers in place. And I think that's where we also need to be looking, is like, where are the inspirational examples? How is it that these people are able to do those things? And why is it maybe we find it more difficult to do it? And I hope that these seminars will really help us, in that dialogue. And on that, in that context, as Ben said, please, please, please circulate the information about these events right through your networks, to your boards, to your staff, to your members, because you're all welcome. We really want everybody participating. And Sweden was good today, sent quite a few people. Our communications only go out to 1 or 2 key contacts. And if those 1 or 2 key contacts don't pass them on, then nobody else knows about these events. So please, 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 will you make sure you circulate to everybody in your networks? And then hopefully we'll have lots and lots of people interacting across our fantastic countries in Europe. And thank you very much, Therese. And Hellesvergesieva, never pronounce it properly, but for your inputs, which are, and of course, always have been inspirational. Very many thanks to you and to everybody for turning up.
Yeah, and especially also to Louise, who managed again every technicality. So see you next time then. Bye-bye and have a nice weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.